So hello everyone, we're here today to congratulate Detlef Weigel on receiving the Stephen Hales Prize. So congratulations, Detlef.
Thank you, Julie.
So for those of you that might not be familiar, this award was established in 1927 to honor Reverend Stephen Hales for his pioneering work in plant biology. And each year the award is granted to a scientist who served the field of plant biology in a noteworthy manner. And in Detlef's case, his contributions include major discoveries, for example, how flowering time is controlled by long distance cues, as well as critical genetic resources, for example, his role in the 1001 Genomes Project, which has opened up a whole new area of research that leverages natural variation within populations. So Detlef, can you tell us a little bit about what the Stephen Hales Award means for you?
The award is important to me in several different ways. First, of course, it's always great if the work of the lab, past and present, is being acknowledged in this way. But as or even more importantly, I often go out in public or speak to politicians to advocate for plant science, context genome editing, very important here in Europe. And it's always good if you can say, look, I got this award from my peers, and I can speak for the community with credibility. The other thing is an award that comes from one's peers is especially nice, and especially one that comes from the American Society of Plant Biologists. It's almost exactly 20 years ago that I became an American citizen.
Great, Detlef. That's an excellent perspective and obviously well-deserved credibility from the plant biology community. Can you tell us also a little bit about what you got interested, how you got interested in plant evolution and ecology?
Well, that was rather in a roundabout way. I started out as a developmental biologist who was studying how flowers are made. That got us into the timing of flowering, and then realized that that's sort of the ultimate adaptive trait, very important when during the year plant flowers. And then about 20 years ago, together with my friend and long-term collaborator, Joanne Corey, we started to think about genetic variation. There's Arabidopsis growing close to the Arctic Circle. There's Arabidopsis growing around the Mediterranean, so tons of diversity. And then genetic diversity got us into genomic diversity, and we were doing a lot of crosses, and that got us into conflict in the immune system, and that now got us into microbiology and pathogens and so on and so forth. And so it changes every few years, and I've always had fun, and I hope it will continue like that for a while.
Excellent. I think probably a lot of scientists can relate to following a passion and weaving through many different fields to address those kinds of questions. So along those lines, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what you see as the future of the field, and perhaps if you have any messages for graduate students that might be watching this video.
Well, future for the field, I hope that boundaries between disciplines, between plant biology and other biology, that they are more and more broken down. We see many of the methods we of course use are very similar as in other areas, but also the boundaries between biology and other sciences. And again, we see this happening with everybody using machine learning, and many of us using geospatial information and so on and so forth. And then for graduate students and postdocs, advice there is, when you think about joining a lab, choose a lab where the mentor is willing for you to train for weeks or maybe months, where in the short term, maybe you're not as productive, but then in the long term, you really can contribute to science.
Excellent. Well, congrats again, Detlef, on winning the Stephen Hales Prize. And I look forward to continuing this conversation at future ASPB meetings that hopefully will be returning to in-person next year.
I hope so too, Julie.